London, I didn't have any friends like that. I had friends, but I didn't have friends that could help me do all those things. You know, I was still getting used to the environment and all that. But when I came to Middlesbrough, a lot of the people I met, you know, because I'm a happy person, life of the party and all of that. So I met a lot of people, some of my classmates, because I studied film. And one random day I did a video and I just used a Tiwa Savage song, and boom, Tiwa Savage posted it. So she doesn't even know she was part of my success story on TikTok. But yeah, Tiwa Savage posted the video on her page, and then my account just picked up again. Every year, the video always comes back trending from another person's page. Somebody else will repost the video. It will blow up. So it now started looking like it was real.
It was real.
Do you understand? Like everywhere it was real. Like they were always reposting it. Like it was going viral. Like every like maybe it would die for like 2 months. Another 2 months time, another person will post again. It's blowing up everywhere. People are calling me again, and I'm like, it's a skit. So that went on. That went on. I tried. You know, I started putting out comments on like I put out a statement. Tell people like this video is skits. It's not real. I'm not being arrested. I'm not. It was just to sensitize and educate people. You know, like. Know what you're doing. Don't just pick up a girl from the club. If a girl is drunk, she can't give you full consent. We did one last year in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Latif Ademeji, the lead actor for that. So that's also coming out. That's called Egunleti. It's a big film.
What did you call it now?
Egunleti.
Egunleti. You're not a British boy.
No, I'm not. I'm a Yoruba boy. Egunleti.
I'm like, okay, Egunleti.
No, don't do that. Egunleti. We got 16 selections.
Like Canada, US.
I'm telling you, it's like, so I just wanted like 2, just to prove that somebody else watched my film and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I just applied, you know, I spent my money, applied for all these festivals, you know, I just applied. I didn't think anything was gonna happen. And then before I knew it, we got the first one in India. We got the second one in America. You know, and before I knew it, Sweden, Italy, Greece, UK, like bro, it just kept on going and going. I'm from 116 selections right now. We won 5 best short films.
Building abroad.
SBB.
Boss.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How you doing today?
Very fine.
How's the weather? How's the weather been treating you? I think we're going into summer.
The weather is beautiful now. We're enjoying it now. You know, it was worse earlier.
I went out yesterday and was like, what's going on? Everybody is on their shorts. Everybody was their singlets. I'm like, okay, this is that season where the night comes by 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But how is it going on with you?
Very good, very good. We're enjoying the weather, you know. It's summer now, so we're outside. We can do a lot more things.
We're outside. Yeah, I know you're always doing big things. So maybe this is the best time that you now start doing a lot of big things.
That's the energy now.
All right, so welcome to Building Abroad. Like one of the things I used to do on every episode is I explain what Building Abroad is all about. From the word building abroad. It's basically for immigrants, you know, Black people. As we're going, it's not just going to be for Black people alone, but just basically for immigrants who are building things abroad, who have left the shores of their home country, you know, wherever we are, and now in the UK, especially for those of us who are here in Teesside, Middlesbrough, and we're building something, like we're doing something. So you might be a business owner, you might be a content creator, you might be a filmmaker, but you're significantly doing something to improve the system. You are significantly doing something to improve the quality of life here in Middlesbrough. So, and you know, you are one of the faces out there. Like you're one of the faces out there in Teesside. Like you're one of the faces. Should we try it? We search King SBB. You have trend everywhere.
No, thank you. Thank
you for joining us today. So I'll give you the honors, the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ross. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, all right. So you just introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. And we'll just take it off from there.
Okay, so first, my name is Adeomi Oluwashemilore. A lot of people know me as King SBB, which, so I'm a filmmaker, I'm a content creator, and a media expert, basically. That's what I do.
When did you enter into Middlesbrough?
August 2022.
August 2022?
Yeah.
And how was, what are your experiences from then when you entered it? Just give us, like, you can use a story, but just give us a brief experience of your stay in Middlesbrough from then.
My stay in Middlesbrough has been amazing so far. Obviously, when I came, which is almost 4 years now, we didn't have this much acceptance into as let me say, as immigrants, as Black people, because obviously Middlesbrough is a white-dominated area. So yeah, but compared to now, it's been a journey. You know, I've enjoyed it. We've had ups and downs. You know, days in school, days after school, trying to chase the career, trying to chase the brand. To like you said, we're building abroad. You know, trying to build abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been all ups and downs. You know, you won't enjoy the journey if there are no ups and downs. So, but Middlesbrough has been good. They've accepted me, they've accepted me full and to an extent, and I've been enjoying it. You know, met people, made friends, a lot of people, and that's what matters, basically.
Let's talk about the ups and downs that you mentioned. You mentioned that schooling. So you came in as a student. What are the ups and downs as a student? You can talk about the downs, like the low, and talk about the high as a student. Then we'll go afterwards.
Okay, so
Imagine school, working, trying to build something, all of that. How has it been when you were a student?
Yeah, so when I was a student, it was different because obviously, you're trying to maintain working 20 hours, you're trying to pay bills, and we're still paying school fees, which was which you all know how enormous that was. But yeah, so those were the downs. The fact that obviously you had to work. At some point, I even felt sick,
Wow.
because I was trying to manage everything together. This was different from what I was used to in Nigeria. Obviously, when I was in Nigeria, I was working full time. I wasn't in school anymore. I was done with school. I was in the industry for like 5-6 years before I moved to the UK. So it was a different experience for me. A lot of culture shock, a lot of things that I wasn't used to that I had to learn. So yeah. So obviously balancing school, balancing school, balancing work. Obviously, and I also worked as a carer. At some that was my main job. So that was also a new experience for me because I wasn't used to that. We don't have a lot of that in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I had to do that because that wasn't my first job. Because when I came initially, I was in London for like a month. I stayed with my aunt in London for like a month, and so I did a lot of jobs there. I worked as a waiter. I worked in a warehouse. A cold room warehouse. Like I'm talking minus 19 degrees,
Whoa.
cold chicken, cold turkey. I did that for a while before I moved to Middlesbrough. But when I moved to Middlesbrough, my first job was in a care home, and it was an amazing experience for me because I learned a lot. It made me appreciate life more than I did before. So so balancing that and paying fees and also creating content, because I think that was the point where I fell in love more with content creation. Because I had a lot more people around me. I had more students, a lot of my friends. I put a lot of people on camera. A lot of them didn't like it, but and then we had lots of viral videos. I think as a student, I even had more viral videos because I had more people to create with, and my ideas were a lot of them could relate to because a lot of us were immigrants. So so there were downs, there were ups. Balancing everything was quite hard at some point, but I enjoyed it and I appreciate it. I don't regret it at all. I had so much fun. I learned a lot. Amazing experience.
Wow, makes sense. You spoke about the fact that they've accepted you in terms of acceptance, and we're just going to move into that regarding content creation because I think one of the things that made even me myself knew you were so viral. I think the first video I saw, I think was 2023. When I saw that video, I was looking at that environment. I was like, this is Middlesbrough. This is Middlesbrough. I had to now go into your profile and now start checking because it was like this place is close. I was seeing Victoria Road. This place is Middlesbrough. Because it was so. To be honest, then I don't think there was I stand to be corrected. I don't think there was a content creator in Middlesbrough. I just feel that Middlesbrough was just that quiet place and nothing is happening there. But when I saw somebody is doing content in this, and it was so relatable. You understand? Now, speaking of the part you said acceptance, let's juxtapose between your life in London, like looking at the serenity of London and the serenity of Middlesbrough. You understand? Why do you choose to say, okay, you start creating your content in Middlesbrough?
Okay, so obviously London is completely different. Like I stayed with my aunt, it was a different environment. I even thought that was how Middlesbrough, because before I came to study in the UK, I used to come to the UK for like holiday, vacation. I used to be in London, I used to be in Kent. So that was the orientation of the UK I had until I came to Middlesbrough. And so London was a different ballgame. But when I came to Middlesbrough, I've always been a creative. If it wasn't film, because I worked in a film production company, a TV production company back in Nigeria. So, it's always been either film. I've always wanted to bring ideas to life, like things in my head. I have a lot of ridiculous ideas, and it gives me so much joy when I see a writing of an idea I have in my head and it's out as a video. So London, I didn't have any friends like that. I had friends, but I didn't have friends that could help me do all those things. I was still getting used to the environment and all that. But when I came to Middlesbrough, a lot of the people I met, because I'm a happy person, life of the party and all of that. So I met a lot of people, some of my classmates, because I studied film. So a lot of my classmates were camera and film oriented people. So it was easy for me to tell them like, oh, I have an idea. Do you want to do this? So I reached out to a couple of them. Some people were down. I got a lot of no's. I'm used to no's, because obviously my job from Nigeria, you try to interview people to tell you no. So I'm used to no. So if you tell me no, it's fine. But out of all those no's, I got a couple of yeses as well. And I just tell people like, oh, do you want to be in my video? And they're like, yeah, they want to do it. And I was like, okay, let's do this. So we did like 2-3 videos. It wasn't really moving like that. And then luckily for me, I did one video. And it boom, got like 3 million views.
Yeah.
And when it got 3 million views, like everybody said, they're like, oh, like this is real. Like a lot of them, because something about my videos, I don't always like to be the only character, like the only person. I built my audience based on plenty people. If you see a lot of my viral videos, always 3, 4, 5 people. Do you get? So everybody, they were all getting calls from their families in Nigeria, getting calls from people in America, in different places, like, oh, we saw you in a video, we saw you in a video. So they even got more interested in joining my videos, so I just kept on doing that, kept on creating videos. We started having lots of viral videos. Like you said, as at that time, I only knew of one content creator in Middlesbrough, some lady, I can't remember her name, but some lady who was doing content, but she wasn't even always around. She was always, I think, either in Manchester or Sheffield, but she comes, I always see her in school once in a while, but I just knew what to do. Like, I know film, so I know that how can I do film on a smaller scale?
Okay.
How can I tell stories? How can I tell these ideas on a smaller scale? And I'd worked with some content creators back in Nigeria, but I did 1 or 2 videos with them, but so I understand it, So yeah, I just kept on going. Had challenges as well with that because I was moved by creating content because I enjoyed creating content.
Okay.
But at some point, TikTok started flagging my videos, because I didn't understand how it works, and TikTok was my happy place because people didn't know me there. On Instagram, people know me because obviously I do film and I was affiliated with a lot of celebrities because of my job back in Nigeria. So TikTok, because nobody knew me there, I enjoyed it. Like, I just go there, post a video. I don't even go back on TikTok. I just post a video, come back, and I see like 100,000 views, 200,000 views, 1 million views. So it just kept on going that way, At some point, I started again. I created a new account because obviously I found out that there was like limitations with, they don't pay Nigerians on TikTok.
Yeah.
You have to, you're doing live and all that. And I was like, I was getting so much views. I wanted to get paid for my videos, So like, why can't I get paid? If other people are getting paid, then why can't I get paid for my videos? So I started reaching out to TikTok because like, no, you started the account in Nigeria, this, that. And I'm like, when I started the account in Nigeria, I barely had like 2,000 followers. But I grew to accounts of almost 50,000 followers in the UK. And I'm telling you guys need to pay me. My videos are blowing up in the UK. And they said no. So at that point, I was down, My friend of mine just told me, I was like, bro, you've done it before. You know how it is done.
Yeah, just create
a new one.
Yeah.
In the UK. I was like, okay, yeah. You know what? Let's do it. So I created a new account and as always, down. It wasn't, videos were not moving. It wasn't going, nothing was popping. And one random day, I did a video and I just used a Tiwa Savage song. And boom, Tiwa Savage posted it. So she doesn't even know she was part of my success story on TikTok. But yeah, Tiwa Savage posted the video on her page and then my account just picked up again and I just started going with the new account. Again. And now the new account is way even bigger than the old account. So yeah,
it makes sense. Now speaking about content creation, how you started content creation, because one of the things I've seen in most of the videos, you have different locales. When I mean locales, you have different culture, ethnic group. There's even some set of white people that you shoot your content with regularly. Like these people are most time in your videos. Now, how were you able to do that so fast? You understand? Having to mix up with different nationals in your content. How were you able to, sort of scale that? And they kind of accepted the fact that this is new and they'll start doing those things with you.
So it was hard. I won't even lie. It was hard because a lot of people want to watch your videos, but they don't want to be a part of it. they want to see it and say, oh, I know that guy. But if you ask them to be a part of it, they will say no. So first I had a show. I had a little show I was doing back as I was in school, like an episode thing called Straight from Athena. So it's something like this. I bring people, we talk about different, like I was bringing people from different backgrounds. And I bring Ghanaians, bring Caribbeans, bring British people as well, you know, and then we discuss random funny topics. You know, unfortunately, that old show never came out. I still have it on my computer somewhere because now I've outgrown it. So I don't feel the need to put it out. But trust me, lots of viral content in there. So that made me meet a lot of people. I was doing that as I was in school, as I was working and all of that. So I was studying film. I had access to a studio. I had access to camera, you know. And this was something I was doing in Nigeria. Like, it was my job in Nigeria. So I was like, yeah, I want to do this now. So I was doing that. That was how I was able to get more people. And I've always been a fan of having diverse people, you know, because it's just the way I was brought up. Like, I was brought up in a diverse home, you know, different people from different backgrounds. We always connect, you know. I was in the hostel, you know. So when I got here, one of my plans was that I wanted to meet people from different backgrounds. I want to know how you relate to things, how you see things and all that. So yeah, I reach out to people. I walk up to people on the street like, oh, you look good. Would you like to feature in my video? And you tell me, no, it's fine. If you tell me yes, it's fine. So for the British people, I think one of them was dating a friend of mine at some point, you know. I spoke to her, I was like, yo, would you mind being in my video? And she was like, I don't know, this and that, but can give it a try. And, you know, we did the first video I did with the actual British girl. Shout out to her, AJ, she's amazing. She's Scottish, by the way, not British. So, because she's going to shout out me when she sees this video. So shout out to her. We did a video about content letter. And that was my first video with her. And
that was the video. That was that video. Yeah, we're still gonna go into that. That was that video. That they had.
No, there are two videos.
There are two of them.
So the first one, so that one inspired the second one. So the first one was a content letter video because obviously I've been seeing it on the news.
No, that means the first one. I think that was the first video I saw where you brought the girl in and you said her to
silent
like kill a leaf.
So I'm big on content, you know. And so when I even came to this part and I see a lot of people getting, you know,
please, content
also,
is important.
You know, like content is is even more of a big deal.
I think even people that work in care we actually do consent more.
Trust
because
me.
I know that a lot of people that do that work say, "Can I hold you?"
Yeah. So I was like, I thought of the idea, you know. I spoke to her and she was down to do it, like, and she wasn't too down at first, but we did it. And the thing is, when people see results, they want to do more. So we did that video, and the video went everywhere. Like, it was trending everywhere. Like, I was getting calls from, like, it was on Nigerian blogs. All of Nigerian blogs took the video.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. So when she saw that, she became more invested in it. You know, she got lots of followers. Lots of people were DMing her. This, that. So that was how she came. If you notice, she's in most of my videos just because she was part of people that agreed to do it. You know, not like I went looking for her. No. She agreed to it. A lot of people wouldn't agree to it, you know, because a lot of people can't face the camera. A lot of people can't even act in front of the camera. Once you put the camera up now, it's not everybody that can be normal in front of the camera. Some people fidget, some people anxiety, and all of that. So she did so well. And then I have other friends, and I just told everybody, like, oh, would you like to do a video? Would you like to be in my video? And that's how I started having diverse people in my videos. But even though it's a lot of Nigerians, but it was still very diverse. I have Caribbeans in my videos. I have Ghanaians in my videos. You know, I have from different parts of the world. You know, and somebody want my ideas. If I see that you will fit into the idea, because before I do the video, I see it in my head. I know what I want. I know if you would fit into the character. So I would look. It would take me. Sometimes some ideas take forever. They'll just be my notes there until I find the person that can fit into that character. You know, and that's just how it is. You know.
Let's talk about that particular video that, you know, that was that had misinterpretation. People used it for the wrong thing, not knowing it was a content. I think there was one I saw that I had to send you a DM on Instagram. Yeah. Now, how do you feel? First of all, share your experience about that situation, because when I saw it, I was so pissed. Like, I was like, what are these guys doing? And you didn't even there was nothing in the caption. You didn't even see anything that this was not real. This was not real. You just you started the profiling. Because I saw it was like all those commentaries that people make on videos. They profiled you. They said a lot of things about, you know, black immigrants. and also without doing their proper information. And I know they didn't even see the video from your page.
Yeah.
I know they would have, viral, downloaded it somewhere. Now, when you see that misinterpretation of what is not true about what you did, how do you feel about it?
Okay, so first, how that video went. So, like I said, it was inspired by the content video initially. So I'd been seeing a lot of videos of how, they say, oh, this black man came to the UK, he slept with this girl and this, that. So I just sat on my bed one day and they just pointed at me like, oh, I can do this. Like, so I came up with the idea, called AJ as always, told her about the idea. She laughed about it. She was like, man, SBB, why do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, you look small. You would pass for a 15-year-old. No disrespect to AJ. And she was like, oh yeah, that's calm. So the funniest part of it was that people didn't even know that the person behind the camera is not even white. The person is black. So they're not sisters. So I guess I acted really well.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I think there was another white lady in the video.
No, the person who was holding the camera was
that was talking. That was saying, no, she's not guilty. Oh, really?
Yeah, she's black. She's Jamaican, but no, she's not Jamaican. She's Caribbean. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. Her name is Cece. Shout out to Cece as well.
The accent.
Yeah, she's got the accent because she's been here almost all her life. So I spoke to her. We shot like 3 videos that day. So I spoke to her, and that video it took less than, I think we only had 1 take. That was just the take.
Yeah, it was just
it took
less
than 5 minutes. So I told her about the idea. We decided to shoot it, and when we shot it, the video was doing very well. Massive numbers, and then someone took the video and cut out the ending. Because if you see the video, you will see that the policeman was fake. It was some random costume that my friend wore.
Yeah.
And all of that. So someone took the video and cut the video, and then the person started having more views than I was having on my page. So I was like, at some point I didn't have any problem because the video was viral everywhere. It was on Twitter. It was everywhere. So I didn't have any problem with that first. But this video was popping on this guy's page, and he didn't give me credit for it. Because at least give credit now. People were now thinking it was real because he had cut out the ending where the policeman came. Because if you see the policeman, you would know his content. I acted so well. She acted so well. Kudos to everyone who acted in the skits. But the ending part of it was cut off. So because the ending part of it was cut off, people didn't see that the police officer was fake. So this video was going so viral on this guy's page. He already had like 12 million views. While mine was still on 1 million. So
what?
I'm telling you, he had like 12 million views. So I wanted to know who he was. So luckily the good thing about TikTok is you can write to TikTok for copyright.
Yeah.
So at that point, I wrote to TikTok for copyright that, oh, this person took my video, this, that. And then TikTok replied me and said, okay, what do I want? I was like, I want them to take it down. They were like, okay, they can take it down, but then if I want it back up, I have to give them a reply in 48 hours or so. So they took it down. So I had sent a mail to this boy, like a DM to the person who was posting this video. Like, yo, this video, give credit and let people know it's a skit because people now think it's real. I was getting calls from America because now you had cut out the ending. I was getting calls from America, my childhood friends, their parents are showing them that, see this boy now is in trouble, he's going to jail. And their kids are telling them like, no, this is Shemilore. Shemilore cannot do something like this. Shemilore does content. This is content. And their parents didn't believe it. Like, the video went so big that nobody believed that it was content because that guy did it. So TikTok took the video down on his page. And then, long story short, the person that now did the video reached out to me. I was like, bro, please, this video is really helping my page. It has grown my page to almost 80,000 followers. The video is really helping me. That please, I know I took your video, but I'm sorry. So I was like, I want to know who I'm chatting with. I want to have a video call with this person. So I reached out. I found out the boy was just some 19-year-old boy in Lagos, Nigeria. with all these faceless channels. A small boy. The boy is young. And the boy was begging me, please, can you just reinstate the video because the video has grown his page so much.
So he's a Nigerian?
The initial boy was a Nigerian, but he created an American TikTok. So the video went viral in America. So when the boy begged me and was like, he's just trying to help, and he's not even, so the thing was, because he cut out the police part of it, which was the ending, because TikTok only pays for 1 minute or more. So TikTok couldn't pay him. So he wasn't making money from the video. He was just growing his page, getting lots of followers. So when he begged me, I just thought of it bro, there's no beef now. Just leave him.
Just leave him for
Jonas, just leave him for him. So I just so when the boy begged me, I was like, okay, no problem, I'll leave it for you. So I left it for him, wrote back to TikTok. TikTok reinstated the video for him. The video started blowing up again. The boy has about 20 million views from the video.
What? And
I'm not stuck on 2 million views. So that was even the drama part of it. Every year, because that video was 2024,
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like,
Bro.
this video, I knew where you did this video.
Do you understand? It was 2024, but every year the video always comes back trending from another person's page. Somebody else will repost the video. It will blow up. So it now started looking like it was real.
It was real.
Do you understand? Like everywhere it was real. Like they were always reposting it. Like it was going viral. Like every year, like maybe it would die for like 2 months. Another 2 months time, another person will post again. It's blowing up everywhere. People are calling me again, and I'm like, it is skits. So that went on. I tried, I started putting out comments on, like, I put out a statement, tell people like, this video is skits, it's not real, I'm not been arrested, it was just to sensitize and educate people, like, know what you're doing, don't just pick up a girl from the club. If a girl is drunk, she can't give you full consent and all of that, like, and that was why I made the video. Until these two guys in the UK, the podcast sometime, was it this year or last year ending? I think it was last year ending.
It was last year ending.
Last year ending.
Yeah.
They did a podcast and they saw the video as well. So they just started their podcast. And then the video, because the video always blows up on everybody's page. The video blew up their page.
Maybe I need to go and get that video.
So the video blew up on their page because they thought it was real. Because this one, they reacted to it. The guy was like, I've got kids, bro. I've got boys, bro. Can you imagine what they have to go through? Because in the video, I did everything right, which was I asked for an ID card. I asked for age. She lied about her age. She gave me a fake ID card.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And so the guys were so emotional about the video. So the video went viral again. So at this point, I reached out to the guys. I'm like, bro, this thing is a skit. I'm tired at this point. Like, I wish I could delete this video at this point.
I saw your comments on their page.
Yeah, because I told them, I had to send them a DM. I told them that no, people were tagging me.
So I think I even tagged you also. Yeah, because I saw it.
I sent them a DM.
All right, sorry for cutting you short. I just want to take a little bit of your time before we continue the video. Right, this is Building Abroad. All I want you to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, subscribe on all our platforms, Facebook, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere that we are on, as it's going to be showing on your screen. So this is Building Abroad, like I said once again, and what we're trying to do is we're talking about businesses, we're talking about people, we're talking about everybody who is in diaspora or who is a black immigrant that is building something in another country. And I hope you always enjoy this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let's continue.
And I told them, like, yo, this video is not what you guys think it is. It's a skit, and it was just meant to sensitize. So they were like, oh, they're sorry. But they had posted the video already, so they can't put this in the caption anymore that it's a skit. So they had to. So they acknowledged me, they apologized. They were like, oh, but they can't take the video down because it is their biggest video. It already had almost 1 million views on their page on TikTok. It was blowing on their page on TikTok. It was blowing on their Instagram.
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, so they just added a new page. It was their best video, and they're like, bro, please, we don't want to take down this video.
They are farming. You're just farming something.
Yeah, they're farming from him. So like when they apologized, but what they did was they put it in the comments like, oh, this video is a skit, it's not real, we've reached out, or the owner of the video has reached out, or something is a skit. So yeah, but it was hard for me at some points because I was scared. Imagine I go look for a job or something and someone goes at me and say,
yeah, he's the
one. I'm like, because I get that a lot. I get a lot of people meet me on the street. I'm like, bro, are you know that guy from that video? And I'm like, please, it's a skit. It's not real. I wasn't arrested and all that. So, but yeah, so I learned a lot from it. I think it's one of those things. I think the reason why I went viral was because I actually acted well.
Yeah.
And she also acted well. So
yeah.
That's why people thought it was real. But yeah, it is what it is. Those are part of the challenges you face from content.
Yeah. Look, talking about meeting people from the streets, right? Let's talk about one of your experiences that you made a video about meeting some boys on the streets that were violent and you had to follow them. Because I was like, if it had been another person, but if it were me, I would also follow them because I will not allow you to just do such a thing. But just share your story on that experience.
So on that day, I was actually on my way to the police station because I was working on my film, the one that went viral, Black Man's Reality. So I needed to shoot inside the police station. I needed to use like a studio, like how like interrogation room.
Yeah,
so I wanted to have the meeting with the police to see how I can make that happen because I don't know anyone. So I just walk up to people and ask so I was on my way to the police station around Cleveland side. So I saw these boys with like balaclavas on a bike, and then when I saw them, I always see all these boys around McDonald's. So in my head, I was like, oh, they're just kids having fun. I know if it was in London, I would probably have been scared or be careful.
Yeah.
But because I see all these boys around and they're like kids, so I didn't even think too much of it. So they passed me. But when they passed me, I was wearing my headphones and I was heading to the police station. Next thing I knew was they just yanked it off my head and they just rode off with the bike. So I looked at them. So they saw me that I didn't chase them. So in their head, they'd made away with
Don't
it.
go.
So I looked at them. I've been in Middlesbrough for a while. I know shortcuts. I know inside all the Dundas more and all of that. So I just looked at them and I knew that these guys, because I didn't chase them, they were relaxed. And the Nigerian instincts in me, I looked at them, I was like, let me calm down. So I saw the way they went. They went through the end close to the bridge and they just turned to go past like where Afrique is, So,
okay.
So I just said, okay, what can I do? I just ran into the mall. Then I saw them ride past. So I ran, looked a bit, and I saw two of them because there were two on one bike. So as I saw them, I just ran towards them. So they were not expecting me because they thought I didn't run, I didn't chase them. So they were calm. They were riding back from the place they just stole from.
Oh, wow.
So I just approached them. At that point, I was filming. The anger in me, I just yanked one of them off the bike because there were two on the bike. I yanked him. I chased him and I yanked him off the bike. As I yanked him off the bike, I held my hand. My headphones. Give me my headphones. So the boy was scared because they were young. So the boy was scared and brought out the headphones and gave me. So at this point, people were already recording me. They felt like I was attacking them.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm a black man, two white boys. What do you
White boys,
expect?
yeah.
So the guy brought out my headphones and he gave me. Luckily for me, I stepped back after collecting the headphones. The next thing the guy brought out a weapon from his jacket. Like, all these gigantic scissors that he used, like grass cutters and kind of thing. He just brought it out and was trying to hit me with it. But at this point, that was my headphones. Like, now everyone was scared. Everyone was recording and all. And the guy was like, I'm gonna mess you up. I'm gonna mess you up. This one, that one. I'm like, you stole from me. I got my headphones back, and you still want to attack me. So I thought of it. I was like, man, these boys don't even care. If they kill me, I've got a family in Nigeria. They don't care about life. Life is nothing to them. So, at that moment, I took the headphones. At this point, I didn't wear the headphones again. I just held it in my hand. So it was out of the moment.
Yeah.
I made the video. So I made the video. I'm like, you guys need to be careful. This, that, that, that. I didn't even expect it to blow up. I made a video, and by the time before I posted it, before I go back home, you already had like 100,000 views. Because it had happened to a lot of people. So people saw it like, because I like to sensitize my videos. Not all my videos is cruise.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I like to educate the little way that I can. So I'll just tell people to be careful. Like, don't just put headphones and think you're safe because you're in the UK. Like, these things happen. You're not in, it's not only London that the young things.
No, I'm always even very careful when I go to London, to be honest, because I saw a lot of content that you're just walking on the road. Those guys on bike.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it once in Bermondsey. I was my friend's place in Bermondsey in London, and I saw it. Like, I saw these guys coming with bike, and because me in London, so I was very careful. And this woman was at the bus station, and they just took it off from her and they just went off. So I saw it 2 weeks before mine happened. So I felt like, I'm in Middlesbrough. It can't happen to me.
It can't happen.
And before I knew it, boom.
Talking about your experiences in Middlesbrough now, like personal experience so far, living in Middlesbrough, how's it been basically?
Middlesbrough has been amazing. It's hard as a content creator, because it's very hard to collaborate with people. Now it's better. Okay. As at the time when I started creating content and all of that, like I told you, I only knew of one girl that was creating content. She wasn't even based here. Nobody was really doing content. But so it was hard to get people to create content with, to create videos and shoot and all of that. But now, there are a lot more people, I don't even know this guy does do comedy.
Yeah. You're the one who told me that he's in Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
I'm like, I used to see this guy, but I didn't know this guy in Middlesbrough.
I didn't know it was in Middlesbrough as well. It was on graduation day. I saw him for the first time. And I saw him and I was like, oh, bro, I know you. I was like, I think I've seen your content too. So he just, at that time, I think he recently started at that time, but I think I was more fortunate that I had blown up already, but at the same time, I try to be nice to people. I try to be humble as possible. And he's an amazing guy. So we spoke that day, we shared contact, and after I see more of his contact, there's another person, Bolex.
I know, but even before he started, he has been doing content before he
so Bolex was doing, funny enough, I met Bolex randomly, I think Abdul. He just came to the UK then. So someone was like, bro, I've been seeing, because a lot of people see my content in Nigeria. I don't even know how big I am.
I think he came in 2023, because I know when he came, when he was a student.
So he just saw me in Abdul and I was like, bro, like I see your content, this, that. I also do content. I'm like, are you serious? Like, yeah. I was like, no problem. Now, if you do content, give me your number. So I can, on my phone, his number is saved as Bola editor. Because that time I thought it was just an editor.
Yeah.
And now Bolex is so big. Bolex
he's so big.
He's way bigger than me now. So that's the joy of it, Edu is also so big. We still spoke, we collaborated on the content. I still spoke to him like yesterday and we're still trying to We want to create some videos together. You know, Bolex is very cool with me. We talk every time. He was on part of the documentary I worked on.
Yeah, he's actually a very cool guy. I know him
All of
personally.
them
He's
are
a
doing
very
amazing,
cool guy.
and I'm so happy because when I started, I didn't have that. There was no one I could talk to. There was no one I could share ideas with. It was just me and my guys, you know, that allowed me to flourish. But now we have more people, you know. So I feel like in a few more years, you know, we're gonna have more space for filmmakers, for TV stations, for content creators, and the likes. Which is that's the joy.
Looking at the progress so far from when you came in and now, what are you gonna rate it in terms of progress generally? Life in Middlesbrough.
Life in Middlesbrough, there's growth and there's more possibilities.
Okay.
There were less possibilities 4 or 5 years ago compared to now. So there's growth there. We have more people who are more open-minded, who are willing to try things, you know, who are not just caged. Because a lot of people then were caged to the, oh, if you're not doing care, you can't make it.
Yeah.
If you're not, but now we have more tech.
Let's talk about that perception. Let's talk about that perception because I think you mentioned that perception before. Yeah, you've said it in one of your videos. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that perception. What is it with that perception, first of all?
I feel like when a lot of we immigrants come to the UK, people that are so talented, because they're trying to find a way to stay, make money, pay bills, they tend to leave the talent and tend to forget or just give up on it. Do you understand? So everyone, when they came, the first job they could get was either a warehouse, and then when you're doing warehouse, you're doing care job, you don't have time. You don't even have the mental capacity at that point to say, oh, I enjoy doing this, let me do it. I feel like if I came into the UK as a skilled worker, for example, I probably might not do content because I'd have just been working back to back. But because I was a student and I was working only 20 hours, I had time.
But there are people like that also. They also came as a student, but pro, they just left whatever they know.
Exactly. No, the majority.
But I think situation also contributes to this.
Yeah, because for instance, I came in single. You know, I'm still single. That's another thing. That's another thing you need to understand.
Okay, let me hear.
Yeah, because when you have a family, you have a lot more bills.
More
Myself, it's just me, you know. And luckily for me, my brothers are doing very fine. My dad is doing very fine. It's not like, oh, I've got extended family and all, but it's not like I had to be working and be sending some massive money to Nigeria. Or wasn't it? It was just my life, bro. I had to pay my bills, I had to pay my school fees, I had to pay this, and that was just it. So it gave me more time to be able to think and say, okay, I enjoy doing this. Can I do it on the side? You understand? So I was still working my care job. Don't get it twisted. I did it for 2 years and I enjoyed it. Amazing time, amazing people. But it gave me time to do content, and content has opened so many ways for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I've gotten one of the biggest films I did in the UK. It was some random content I did in Edinburgh that I met the producer, and I was like, "Oh, do you still do film?" And it was from a random content. So content has opened lots of ways for me. But people get here, and I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone. Everyone has what they're chasing. Everyone has their puzzle. Bro, there's puzzle. People are going through a lot.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I cannot use my own
reality.
Do you understand? To judge other people. So that's why a lot of people come and just be like, this is the way, bro. I have to do it. And then you start doing it, and then you find out that
get stuck in the system. You know?
Yeah, you find out that you have to do it for the next 5 years. You need to get your ILR. You have your wife. You need to sort out your dependents, and you have a kid. You know, so people get stuck in that. People are doing that for 10, 20 years, and before you know it, it's too late before you say you want to move somewhere else. And you know how the UK is like. If you have too many gaps in your CV, as a tech bro now, for instance, you're not doing anything tech, you're doing care. By the time you want to go back to tech, if you don't have the certifications to back up, if you don't have experience to show that you know what you're doing, you can't get back into the industry. And then you're just stuck there and like, it's like your comfort zone and you're safe there. It's paying your bills, it's doing everything. But I told myself I don't want that.
Do you think comfort zone is part of those things that encourages it?
Obviously. It's very obvious. It's paying your bills. He's doing your basic things. You can pay your car insurance, you can drive, you can
get your mortgage.
Do you understand? Some people, if you're working, your wife is working, mortgage is being paid, this one is that. Just like, so like with that, like you're comfortable, you know. But the orientation I've always had is the jobs will pay the bills. Def.
Yeah.
But can they make you wealthy?
No.
No.
I don't know. I'm
I don't know about other people, but the orientation I have, it's fine. I'm fine with people having different opinions. But this is my opinion, and this is what has been guiding me so far in life. Yes, your job will pay your bills.
Okay.
But can they make you wealthy? Can they make you, you know, some people enjoy their jobs. Like
can you create wealth through this?
And that's not the way I say it. I don't think any of these jobs will give me private jets.
For real?
Yeah, it might probably give me a Beamer, it might probably give me a Benz, I'm paying finance and all of that. But can he give me a private jet? Can I decide to take 3 vacations in a year and say I want to go to Monaco, I want to go to Santorini? I don't think it works that way. That's my own orientation. It might work like that for some people. There's some tech bros that are making hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. But my field isn't like that. So I have that orientation that this is my job is going to pay my bills, but I need to find a way to create wealth and do what I enjoy, because life is actually really short. If you decide to continue going that, you won't have things to you won't enjoy it. You won't have fun. You just pay bills, get money, pay bills, get money, and then it just keeps going. So.
Speaking about gatekeeping, because you mentioned that in one of those videos. Now, I think I'm just starting to remember a lot of your videos. I'm talking about gatekeeping, right? And how we blacks, I've also experienced it, so I'm not going to lie about it. I've also experienced it. Talking about how gatekeeping has been happening compared to other couples. To be blunt, look at the Pakistanis, the Indians and all that. You see a lot of businesses, based on information I've, have a couple of conversations with all these kind of guys, and you see the number of businesses they have, buildings they have, real estate. And, you look at it on the flip side, it seems as if there's a lot of gatekeeping happening in, black community and all that. Have you experienced such, or what kind? Because I know you mentioned it in one of your videos. So have you had that experience, or it's just the fact of, this is happening? Okay,
so the last time I made that video, I was dragged a lot because I think it was like the first day of the year, or like the first Sunday of 2025. Was when I made a video about gatekeeping in the industry, like not just in the industry, amongst we black immigrants, because I had seen it a lot, especially in Middlesbrough. You know how Middlesbrough is. Yeah. It's basically ruled by Pakistanis. You see all their businesses driving on the biggest cars, So something actually happened that made me make that video. So if we know how everyone is looking for sponsorship and looking for COS and all of that. So a friend of mine got a job in a company. Yeah. Then he met another of our mutual friends there, who was already at this new care home, So the new guy, who's the mutual friend that he met there, who happened to be an agency staff, was telling him that he should please not tell any Nigerian about the care home because they are sponsoring. So it triggered something in me, because Pakistanis would come to the UK. I remember a guy I was in when I was flying in, the guy that I moved to the UK, in my flights, because we traveled through Egypt, and then from Egypt to the UK, so we already made friends and people in the plane and all of that. And one of them was already telling me that he had a job waiting for him. He had not been to the UK before. He had a job waiting for him, a Pakistani, that he was going to work for one of his uncle's friend that is in the UK, that was going to give him a job, that is going to sponsor him. He already had that waiting for him. Like, all of that was, if you look at Pakistanis, they have that. They buy a whole street. They have businesses, like, they will put money together, start a business, and share it. But we black immigrants, it just felt like we only want to grow. We don't want to see each other grow. Yeah. You want to be the richest person amongst 10 people. And I learned a lot from my dad. My dad says it's better for you to have 10 rich friends than being a billionaire and everybody else is broke around you, because you are a poor man. You just don't know it yet, because they will keep calling you for money. Yeah, true. Than when everybody is rich, So I'd seen it a lot. And also in the film industry as well, like, because I make film, so trying to get access and get funding for me is so hard, because I don't know anyone. I only know God. I know God and the ideas He has given me. So I don't know anyone. So, like, trying to get there are some people that are there that do not just want you to get access. These are black immigrants as well that came to this country. Yeah. They don't want you to get that access to get this funding, because they feel like, oh, if you get it, you'll be a big deal. But the point is, if we all collaborate, look at the Pakistanis, they're doing so well. Like, I'm not going to lie. They're doing so, like, have you been to Bradford, bro? I've not been to Bradford. I went to Bradford for a weekend, like, literally all these stores. I felt like at some point I was in a different country. I know the British might not be happy with that, but it felt like I was in a different country. Like, they were thriving, they had stores, they were doing all their things, helping each other to grow. But our own people, it felt like we just keep holding each other back, because I want to grow more than you. I don't want to give you an update. I'm blocking you. But, like, at the end of the day, we're blocking ourselves. Do you get? But
Yeah.
it's better now. I can see some sort of improvement. Some people are actually creating communities. I'm in a film community where we link each other up. Like a lot of Black immigrants, who are trying to like, oh, there's a film project, this one, that one. Like because obviously in the film industry, if you don't have credits, you won't get jobs. They don't care about what you've done, where you're coming from. For instance, before I came to the UK, I'd done jobs on Netflix. I'd done jobs on Amazon. Do you understand? Before I came to the UK. But they don't rate that here. They want you to do the job here.
Yeah.
By the time I apply for anything, they tell me, oh, did you shoot the film in the UK? I'm like, but the film is on Netflix. Are we not all fighting for Netflix? Do you get what I'm saying? We're like, yeah, so this particular group I'm on now, they like try and put people on. It's called For the Credits. Shout out to Fola Ngadi, Fola Dile Ngadi. She created that group with a couple of other people who put like filmmakers on. It's called For the Credits. So if you don't know For the Credits, you guys go check out For the Credits. They put other filmmakers on. You get jobs like an AD, you're a PM, you're a cinematographer, you're a first AC. So if you want to do that, like they created that, it's called For the Credits because we found out that you need the credit.
You need the credit, yeah.
Without the credit, you won't get jobs, So, so it's getting better compared to before. Now we have things like that. We have a lot more bodies like that. There's one called Made in Black, So it's getting better. And I feel like in a few more years,
Yeah, it should get better, basically, because if we really want to thrive, and I'm sorry to say, but I think it's one of those things that affected, the past generations that were here. Because when you look at the numbers of Black immigrants that were in this country for a long time, I think this gatekeeping of a thing was part of the thing that affected the thriving of
of the Black communities. I completely agree.
Because I like I said, I went to Ilford in London a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, what's going on here? Like the business is there. I saw a lot of Pakistani, Indian. I'm like, how are these people doing it? So it tells that
at the same time, you can't compare the numbers of people coming here. I later found out that even some Indians and Pakistani governments help fund their students to come here.
Yeah, true.
Hardly did the Nigerian governments do that. And they start paying back after they've been here for a few years, So that alone is a problem. So they already have that community that we don't have. But like I said, we're getting there.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about your film. Yeah, the film that was everywhere. It was everywhere. First of all, how did that happen?
So the name of the film is called Black Man's Reality.
Yeah.
It also came up from content. So like I said, during when I was trying to pay my fees and all that, I fell sick. I was in the hospital for a couple of days, and I met a South American music legend. We were in the same hospital, we were in the same ward together. He's passed on now. Wilfred De Farah, rest his soul. So I was there at that time because I was trying to make money for school. I was working so hard. At that point, she said I'd even removed me as a student. Because I couldn't pay my fees.
I think that thing happened to
a lot of
that year.
We're plenty. So Tisa had removed me as a student. I was in a hospital, and at that time was when the consent letter content was still trending. So I was in a hospital. So at that time it was almost final project time. So T-side was like, oh, you guys need to drop out your ideas. We need to pitch the ideas we wanted to school. If you either wanted to do a film for our final project or do a pitch deck. I spent almost £20,000 to study film. Why do I want to do a pitch deck? Bro, I need to prove to people where I'm coming from. I'm telling you, I need to prove to them that I made a film. That's what
your 20K is not
So that day I was speaking to Wilfred De Farah at the ward, where I was, and I was like, oh, what do you do? He was like, because I was always quiet. I was with older people at the ward, and I was the youngest, and I was the only Black.
I feel for
I
feel for
so
you,
I didn't
bro.
used to speak to anyone. I was just in the hospital there on my bed in the ward, So he just looked at me one day and was like, you're always quiet, you don't speak to anyone, this, that, and I was like, and then I started talking. I was like, oh, you speak pretty good English, this, that, where you from, what do you do? Like,
oh, wow.
We'll come back to that.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, we'll come back to that.
You do what?
I'm telling you. So, and then he was like, oh, what do you do? So we got talking, me and him got close, he used to check up on me, we were in the same ward, and I told him about that I do content and I do film, I'm studying film. And he saw the content. It was like, people won't take you serious with the content. Why don't you make it into a film? I was like, oh, that's true. I was like, I don't have money. It was like, just think about it, because if you do content, hardly would the likes of BBC or anybody want to watch it. It's content.
yeah,
They just feel like
content,
joke.
skit,
But if you make it a film, people will be serious about it. So at that time was when school, even though school had removed me as a student, but I had to still plan for my final projects. So yeah, I just thought of it. I was like, okay, maybe I should. This thing it happens to black men a lot, you know. And the thing about black men is, if you ever get accused of anything, nobody hears your side of the story first.
Yeah.
Your life is first on a pause. You know, that's the end. Like they don't want to know whether you did it or not. The worst of it is that if a white woman accuses you of anything, nobody wants to know if you did it or not.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, yeah, this is, I guess this is a film I want to tell, you know. So when I got discharged from the hospital, you know, I go back to school, I pitched the idea to my lecturers. My lecturer was like, a black man story, you know, a lot of them they didn't vibe with it. Like, I won't even lie, no disrespect to my lecturers, but I understand where they're coming from. They wanted us to tell stories that everyone could relate to it. But I wanted to tell stories that my people can relate to it. Yeah. You know, so I wrote the idea, I gave it to my lecturers. They were like, oh, this, that, you know, if that's what you want to do. Because they don't have power to tell you not to do it. You know, they'll just advise you on it, you know. And obviously, if you're not careful, you don't want to talk on a sensitive topic, like rape. So I was like, I'm nobody. If you want to cancel me, but like nobody knows me, you know. So so because he had done well on TikTok, I was like, okay, I can make it into a film. So I wrote the story. I reached out to a friend of mine, a writer friend in Nigeria. I sent the story to her. She drafted it out, you know. I was gonna produce, direct, and act it, but I was like, it's too much, you know. So I told a friend of mine who ended up directing it, you know, because I was like, at that point, I was like, it's gonna be too much for me producing, acting, and directing. Yeah. You know, so I came up with the whole team, told some of my, so a lot of my colleagues knew that, apart from all of us studying film, they knew that there were people that had actually done film and understand film. Yeah. And luckily for me, I happened to be part of those 3-4 people that had done film before coming to study film. Do you understand? So I put people together, reached out. Luckily for me, when I pitched the story to school, school was doing some funding. So I was part of the recipients of one of the funding. School gave me money, and I was like, no, I'm mad. When school gave me money, there was a friend of mine in London. I spoke to him. I was like, bro, I'm doing a film. And he too was skeptical at first, but he heard about that. He was also going into film at that point. Okay. You know? So he heard that, school had given me money. So at that point, I think he felt like, for school to be able to give you money for this film, something is there. Yeah. Do you get? And I was like, how much do you need? I was like, okay, I can get people to work for free, obviously, you know, because obviously we're all students, everybody wanted credits, you know, so a lot of people worked for free on the project because they wanted the credits. It was a short film, but I also paid people, you know, so I had to bring in cinematographer from London. School's equipment wasn't the kind of equipment I wanted. Like I said, I had done Netflix
You
projects.
wanted the red.
Yes, you get. And school was giving Canon C100.
You wanted red.
But all those people in school, obviously, they're filmmakers. You know, that's what school could afford at that time for them. You know, but I wanted more because I know what I'm capable of. Yeah,
the quality of the production.
Yeah, so I reached out to someone in London. You know, I had some part of the funding. My friend decided to come on board. You know, he dropped some money as well, became an executive producer on the project. Reached out to my brother. My brother also supported my dream. And then I also put up some money together, you know.
And boom.
I started talking to people. A lot of actors turned down because obviously the film was too sensitive. And it was a black and white film. People didn't want to be a part of the film. Actors were turning down last minute to the film, like a day to film. So the girl who actually played the lead character, shout out to Ella, it was last minute. I just told my friend, I'm like, bro, we need to get a girl for this film. Like, we're shooting tomorrow. Equipment have come from London, and we don't have a lead actress. You know, and then Ella was like, oh yeah, that she's down to do it. You know, and yeah, she did it. Some of the actors, you know, I got some people from online, reached out, and we did the film. Shout out to the school funding, Frank Rodham. Shout out to my friend, Onyx, Club Afrique.
Okay, yeah.
Because I shot in Club Afrique. Luckily for me, while I was shooting, you know, one of the owners of Afrique asked me, like, what are you even shooting? And then I told him what the film was all about. And he told me, like, I have a friend who's in jail right now for this same thing you're shooting. He said, because of that, I'm giving you all access. Shoot this film. I want to see it. I was like, okay, mad. And then, you know, we shot the film. I didn't think it was going to blow up like it did, because obviously it was just an idea in my head. So I shot one for school. Okay. Which was the 15 minutes I submitted for school. But then I started looking for more money to get it re-edited for the world.
Okay.
You know, so I looked for more money, you know, got one of the biggest editors in Nigeria, Tunde Courts. Shout out to Tunde Courts. He's a big director now, by the way. Big boy. I don't have his money anymore. But then shout out to Tunde Courts. Reached out to Tunde Courts in Nigeria. You know, we re-edited it, packaged a bigger one for the world. You know, I looked for some money and I just applied to festivals randomly.
How many festivals now?
Bro, we got 16.
Because I was like, I just skip seeing those. I said, this guy, wait till they have
we got 16 selections.
Like, Canada, US.
I'm telling you, it's like, so I just wanted like 2 just to prove that somebody else watched my film and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I just applied, you know, I spent my money, applied for all these festivals, you know, I just applied. I didn't think anything was going to happen. And then before I knew it, we got the first one, it was in India. We got the second one, it was in America. You know, and before I knew it, Sweden, Italy, Greece, UK, like bro, it just kept on going and going. I'm finding around 16 selections right now. We won 5 best short films, 2 in the UK, 1 in America, 1 in India. I think we got 1 more in, was it Sweden? And like it all just kept on coming. Like I didn't think it was gonna get that big. You know, it became bigger than me. You know, and then I saw that the nominations were getting much, so I started to plan a premiere. So I did a movie premiere, which was new to people in Middlesbrough, because nobody had seen you do a short film and say you want to do part C for short film. Like, bro. But because I knew my background, I'd done this, you know, for proper films in Nigeria. So I was like, yeah, I want to do a premiere. So yeah, we did the premiere. A lot of people turned up, you know.
Yeah.
Arc Cinemas in Stockton, they were surprised to see that kind of thing. Like an independent producer is doing a premiere. Obviously, people always get funded to do things like that. But I said I wanted to do it. And I did it. It became big. It went everywhere. All the awards, all the accolades, for, not just for me, but for the crew members and everyone who invested their time and energy into the project. So yeah, Black Panther's reality is big now. It's everywhere. It's opened more doors for me.
Yeah.
You know, we're creating more projects after that. And yeah.
So man, the story is really fascinating. The fact that this just happened and they blew up.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I know it's going to create more opportunities. So what are the things in terms of, okay, let me talk about this first. In terms of support, how have you been able to, you know, support other, you know, filmmakers here in Middlesbrough that are, you know, trying to do something like what you did?
Yeah, when people reach out to me, like we've done...
Like I can see, I know I was part of people that went to see the one for Babs.
Yeah.
That I saw it and I was like, wow, this really makes sense.
Yeah. So so Babs was my classmate, but we're not in the same year. I was like 6 months ahead of him. He came like the January batch. So he directed my film. And obviously the least I could do was when he wanted to do his own final project as well. I reached out to him and I was like, bro, I'm doing this. Can you be a part of it? And I was like, yeah, definitely. Like, why not? So I supported him, you know, we planned the project, you know, I co-produced it alongside him. He had other producers as well on board, you know, we all did it together. There's another person, Cassie wanted to do a film because, you know, he watched Black Panther's Reality, enjoyed it. He's also a film student, but he's undergrad. You know, so like anybody who reaches out to me, if I'm available, I'll do it because I enjoy making film, you know. Even before I tell, you know, none of the short film guys that I've done paid me, even though the big films I've done, the feature films I've done, for the likes of Ominan Productions, bigger projects, I'm being paid for that. But the short films, obviously, don't pay me for it. I just do it because I enjoy making film and I want to see other people grow because people came through for me. I'm not even gonna lie, people came through for me. A lot of my guys, they had not done film before. I brought them on board. My guy Sturge, who's a musician, was the sound man on my project. My guy OBN, who was a student at that time, was the assistant sound man. You know, I got people to do a lot of things that they had not done before. And they did it for me for free. You know, so if people reach out to me in any way I can, I show up for people. That's how I was able to get a lot of people to show up for me. Because I show up for people. You know, so yeah, if I see a project, I like the story, it resonates with me, you know, we can all get to the top. The top is big.
Yeah, the top is big, bro.
It's big for everyone to fly, my bro.
Yeah, now looking at, you know, what is the next thing now? Like, what project are we expecting? What are you doing now? What is, you know, the vision? What are the things to come from SBB?
Yes.
I didn't even ask how the name SBB came by.
No, that's a long story. SBB, oh my God. SBB is a family acronym, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm if you notice, I'm SBB3. I've got 2 elder brothers. So the first one is SBB1 and the second one is SBB2.
So why are you not the king?
I gave myself. I named myself
Why?
No, I gave myself
Why are you
king.
the king?
I gave myself king, you know. But yeah, so it's a family acronym. But yeah, what's next for me is So I'm working on a documentary right now,
Okay.
which is part of the reasons why I appreciated my time working in the care home, because it opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Okay.
People don't know how privileged they are. People don't know what people are going through out there, and it's a special story. I don't want to let too much out because
Yeah.
it's coming out, but it's a documentary I'm working on right now. We're in the pre-production stages of it. So yeah, that's one. I just shot a short film called Smiles and Scars back in December. That's also in the post-production, which we're done with that. It's in the post-production right now. So we're putting that out. I also just came back from a feature film, which is very big. You know, I'm so excited about that one. We shot that in Belford for about 2 weeks. It's a feature film. It should be coming to Amazon Prime later in the
Is it the one I saw with some Nigerian act?
Yeah, so we
Okay,
so
okay.
there are actually two. We did one last year in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Where Lateef
Lateef
Adedimeji
yeah.
was the lead actor for that. So that's also coming out. That's called Egunleti. It's a big film.
What did you call it now?
Egunleti.
Egunleti. You are not a British boy.
No, I'm not. I'm a Yoruba boy. Egunleti.
I'm like, okay, Egunleti.
No, don't do that. Egunleti. Because if the producer should hear me call it like that. So Egunleti,
Okay.
starring a lot of big stars, the likes of the big dogs in the industry. Because we shot for like 20 days in Nigeria. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to Nigeria with them, but our line produced the UK. We shot that in Edinburgh for like a week. So 20 days in Nigeria, we shot about a week in the UK. And we had the likes of Lateef Adedimeji, we had the likes of Atlanta Bridget, big Nollywood stars came through for that project. So that was last year. And then we had a follow-up from the same production company, Omilan Productions, shout out to Omilan Productions. We had a follow-up this year for a bigger project, which was one we shot in Belford. That's an amazing project. It's titled Between Us. We also had a big Nollywood actor, Olarotimi Fakunle.
Okay.
He also came through from Nigeria.
Olarotimi Fakunle?
Yeah, he was the lead actor on that one.
Is he
from Gangs of... is it Gangs of Lagos?
Gang of Lagos?
Yeah. Elenio.
Yeah, Elenio.
So he came through from that amazing guy.
Yeah, Jadil Shiberi was there.
Yes, that one. Yeah. So he came through from Nigeria. It was an amazing set. We flew some of the crew members from Nigeria. It was a full set of UK crew members and Nigerian crew members. Amazing film. So that's also coming out this year. So I've got lots of things, and I'm planning a bigger short film, which is trying to raise funding for before the end of the year.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got like 3 things coming out. We've got one in pre-production. We've got one in post-production, and then I'm planning the next one. So yeah, always looking forward to working. We're looking for funding. We're looking for money.
No, funding must come.
Funding must come.
Talk to them. Talk to them.
Please, guys. Yeah, so we're trying to do a lot of things, especially for filmmakers in the Northeast. So if there's any funding opportunities that please send them our way. We know Northeast Screen is doing a lot, but Northeast Screen doesn't fund short films. They only fund feature films. Okay. And so we're trying to go there. But if there's any funding opportunities that you guys know, please, Cloudway Media Productions is willing to work with you guys. Thank you.
You can hear it. One of the things that we also encourage not just organization funding. If they are individuals, if you have money that you're not using again, or you have
or you want to go into film. There are people that want to go into film. Yeah, if you want to go into film and you don't know how to go, like Black Man's Reality has shown you that we know what we're doing. It's gotten on. If it's not a good film, it won't get over 16 nominations around the world. It just shows that we know what we're doing. And getting a Best Short Film Award in America, getting Best Social Narrative.
That's a lot.
It's huge, So yeah, so if you have money that you're not using, or you want to use it, or you want to, just reach out, and then we'll make something happen.
How can they reach out?
Yeah, so my Instagram is @Shemilori the production company, which is Cloudview Media, is Cloudview Media on Instagram. And TikTok.
It's going to be on your screen. So
yeah, so KingSBB on TikTok, Shemilori on Instagram, Cloudview Media Productions on Instagram as well. So you can send us an email as well, mediacloudview@gmail.com. All
right, thank you very much. And I want to use the opportunity to appreciate SBB, Shemilori guy. Thank you for joining us. And we know that you're always supportive. And we'll see. This is Building Abroad, and we're still going to do more. We're still going to talk to folks that are doing big things. One of the vision of Building Abroad is to always project, immigrants, Black immigrants, tell the world we're not just here for the sake of just being here. We're here also to be part of people who are going to grow the system, part of the system, and also, be more beneficial to the system. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you everyone for watching today's episode. It's really exciting that you joined us today. And like I always say, what one thing you can do is, click that subscribe button. It's very, very important. Click the subscribe button, like, follow, share, reposts on Instagram, whatever platform that you're watching from, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, no, sorry, X. And we'll always see you in the next episode.